Okay, another year is at an end, and it's time to rank the movies I've seen this year again. Now, disclaimer, this list is my opinion and my opinion only. And I also purposely avoided certain movies and didn't get to see other ones because my theater never got them. Thank you very much, Disney, and your stranglehold. Otherwise, I'm sure movies like 1917 and Best of Enemies would have been on the list, and I avoided movies like Star Wars and Rambo's Last Blood based on the spoiler reviews. But coming in at number 10, worst movie of the year, It Chapter 2. What can I say that I haven't already? Bill Skarsgård tries way too hard to be scary. The movie glorifies suicide. It's one big side quest. They just rehash previous character developments. Nothing worth writing home about ever again for me. At number 9, Pet Cemetery. One way or the other, don't care about the movie, never gonna see it again. Number 8, Brightburn. Interesting watch, but didn't have the best cast, and the kid was far from a good. The kid you could just care less about throughout the movie. The concept was great. I'm glad I seen it, but yeah, I'm not seeing that one again. Coming in at 8, Avengers Endgame. Although it had moments I enjoyed, it was too long, very convoluted, and I don't like how they turned Thor's crippling PTSD into a joke. They did a lot with Tony Stark having it, but when they give it to Thor, let's turn him into a clown. Yeah, that was a bad choice. Now, the movies I really like. Coming in at number 6, John Wick Chapter 3. Just as good as the other two. If you love them, you'll love this. If you didn't like the other two, you won't like this. You know exactly what you're getting if you like John Wick. Number 5, Yesterday. Although I wouldn't call it the feel good movie of the year, Yesterday is a very good, enjoyable movie. And if you're a fan of the music of the Beatles, it's a much wash, and it does have some interesting commentary on what made music so timeless back then and why it's just so now. The manager is kind of cartoony, over the top, just stuck up, but she was written to be that way in a purpose. And again, I feel this film is kind of a commentary on the modern music industry and how you just can't be creative anymore. Yesterday, I can't recommend enough. Coming in at number 4, Crawl. This film, I went in not expecting to like it. In fact, I went to see it on a whim, and I pretty much knew going into it I was not going to like this film. Well, couldn't have been further from the truth, although there are things I thought shouldn't have been done, like one of the gators being a nesting mother and still being other alligators. No, there wouldn't have been any other alligators near that crawl space if that mother was nesting or in that immediate area. But that being said, we had good characters, good actors in it, and it's still you know what you're getting into when you see this movie, but it's just done in a very entertaining, fun manner. Is it over the top at times? Yeah, but Still, great movie. Coming in at number 3, Alita Battle Angel. This film, it's been a unique phenomenon because we had Captain Marvel come out the same year, and oh, finally a female superhero. Not like we haven't had Wonder Woman before that movie, and you've had the identity politics people virtue signaling very hard for that movie. Brie Larson running off at her mouth, which is the reason I didn't see it because her comments left such a bad taste in my mouth. But the same people that were pushing that film for strong female character, Elitas for alt-right trolls and bashing the movie when you got a strong female character. And from all accounts, what I've read about Captain Marvel, in the spoiler reviews I've watched, a more likable, down-to-earth female character. The character of Alita is awesome. The movie had a lot of heart. Great action sequences, and I hope we get a sequel because it does set up something awesome. Number 2, Midway. Wow, this film was amazing, and the fact that it came from Roland Emmerich of all people, I purposely avoided information about this movie because other than the historical context, I wanted to go into it blind. When I saw directed by Roland Emmerich, I sank in my seat at the theater. But this is easily Roland Emmerich's best film. If this is the same man that did The Patriot, and if you look at how that demonized all British people, this film was actually done in such a manner that it didn't tiptoe around the atrocities committed by the Japanese military during World War II, but it didn't portray all the Japanese military personnel as monsters either. It had good drama at times. It had very tense moments. It even touches up on things like John Ford being in the film, and great performances all the way around from everyone involved. The Japanese actors, the American actors. This film was phenomenal. And my number 1 movie of 2019, do I even have to say it? Godzilla King of the Monsters. Every now and then a film comes along that is connected to a franchise you've been a lifelong fan of. And this film has everything you could have possibly wanted in it. And that was Godzilla King of the Monsters. I admit it's a flawed film, and it being on this number 1 spot is 100% bias. But guess what? Everyone's top 10 movie list is 100% biased. So I'm owning up to that. Whether the fact that this film had Akira Ikefube music in it, the reworks Bear McCreary did, the cinematography was gorgeous, awe-inspiring. These monsters looked terrifying on screen when Rodan's flying over the city and people are getting sucked into the air. Plus, just the monster action was incredible. This film had Godzilla's single best entrance scene. Actually, his top 2 entrance scenes ever. Number 2 being where he shot out of the water and blasted his atomic breath in the air. Number 1, the scene where he enters in Boston. That scene was just perfection. This movie did not have a boring moment for me. From start to the moment the final credit rolled and we got the end credit scene, everything about this movie, I had an absolute blast. And I clearly went to see it with some Godzilla fans because those of us that did stay to see it in the theater, when in the credits we saw at the end dedicated in loving memory of Yoshimitsu Banno, director of Godzilla vs. Hedorah, who helped co-produce this film, and in loving memory of Haruo Nakajima, the original Godzilla. Everyone that stayed for the credits stood up and clapped. Even when we saw Akira Ikafube's name in the credits, people clapped. This film was just an absolute love letter to the Godzilla fan base, and my favorite movie in years. It was that enjoyable. So, those are my top 10 movies. What are your favorite movies of the year? What are your least favorite? I'm interested to hear. So, don't forget to like, share, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you in 2019. Happy New Year.